What's up, my reseller friends? My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell on eBay and a little bit of Posh and Mercari. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the worst feedback I've ever received as a seller on eBay ever. It was horrible. The buyer just straight up lied about me. And I'm going to just explain to you what happened, how I was able to get it removed, and what I just learned from this experience to help avoid something like this happening in the future. So this was actually on my second eBay account, not my main account, which I just thank God so much for that, because if it would have been on my main account, I probably would have had a little bit of a heart attack. But when I first opened my second eBay account, I was kind of playing around with the idea of selling media without taking pictures and just using stock photos. So I had listed a bunch of DVDs and I just scanned the barcode, put in my price and listed. I didn't upload pictures or anything like that because I just kind of wanted to experiment with it, right? So I used my second eBay account to do that. Well, it turned out that I decided that wasn't really for me. I like to upload my own photographs, but the ones that I already did that for, I just kind of left them on there. And one of them was this Sopranos box set, and it had been on my eBay store for well over a year, and I had it listed at $5.99. Well, someone sent me an offer on it for $5, and I thought it was kind of weird because I don't remember turning on best offer for something that was already $6 free shipping. That doesn't sound like me. I know that there have been times in the past where eBay just turned it on without me saying to, so I don't know if that happened, if it somehow just got switched on. And you know, I saw the offer come through and I said, there's no way this is even gonna sell. I'm just okay with $5, whatever, take it. So I took it, the buyer paid, and I shipped it off. Well, maybe about like a week or so later, I get a case opened on it. And in the case, the buyer just said one of the discs were missing. Now, I'm pretty sure that there was no disc missing because I always check. But then again, I only had a stock photo and I had listed this like a year ago, and I know that I make mistakes. So I was gonna give the buyer the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, okay, well, maybe somehow I did miss this. It's only $5. I just hit the refund button on the case, got it closed, moved on. Well, I don't go onto this eBay account often. I really only go on to see if anything's sold. I don't really look at my feedback and do all that on there. So like a month later, I was looking through this account and I did notice that this particular buyer left me negative feedback. But he didn't just leave negative feedback, it was like horrible feedback. So if he just would have said something like, I ordered my item and there was a disc missing, I still would have been annoyed by it, but it wouldn't have been like that big of a deal because he was just being honest with his experience. I'm going to read to you what he said in the feedback. Seller is a scam. Sold me second seasons of The Sopranos, missing the 4th disc. No contact at all. Had to start dispute to get money back. Very rude seller. Do not buy from the seller. And if that wasn't enough, he did a follow-up reply to his feedback. This seller is terrible. Tried to keep my money, then threatened me. Thankfully, eBay got my money back through dispute. Do not buy from the seller. You will be sorry. Very negative. When I saw that, I was just like, oh my God. So my first instinct was to respond to the feedback. And I definitely advise that to you. That should always be the first thing you do, is respond. Because even though you may be able to get it removed, sometimes it's not automatic. So if anybody is looking in your store and they're reading that feedback, they're going to be looking for what your response is on it. So it's very important that you respond. So I just responded saying this was a lie. As soon as I realized that there was an issue, I refunded the buyer right away. Why would I threaten somebody over $6? And I just left it at that. And then I went in and looked at feedback that he left for other people. And for the most part, he left positive feedback. But there was another person who he bought a Sopranos set from, like right at the same time that he bought mine, because they were like right on top of each other, mine and the other one. And he also left a very similar feedback for that person as well. So then the next thing that I did was I messaged the buyer. And I just told him, you know, you may be confusing me with a different buyer. I'm not sure. You did say that I threatened you, and that's not true because we didn't have any communication with one another. So I would appreciate it if you would kindly remove that feedback. Didn't hear anything from them. I never did. But then, of course, right after I sent them that message, then I went through and I tried to dispute it with eBay. I got a response through an email right away saying, sorry, this feedback is not eligible for removal. And I'm like, it's not, he just straight up lied about me. For one, he said that I scammed him. For two, he said that I threatened him. For three, he said that I tried to keep his money. Those are 3 lies. I never did any of those. So when that didn't work, I reached out to eBay for Business on Facebook and I sent them a message and I sent them screenshots. I let them know what happened in detail. And they got back to me 24 hours after I sent that message. And they said, sorry, you do not this does not violate any of the feedback practices. So unfortunately, we cannot remove it. I don't understand how lying is not a violation. If you go through and look at our history, you will see that I refunded the buyer right away and that we had no interaction with each other on message. So there's nothing that shows that I threatened this person. And why would I threaten them over such a small transaction? And then they responded back and they were like, okay, for a one-time courtesy, we will go ahead and remove it. And then they went ahead and removed it. So I did have to fight a little bit to get it removed. Honestly, I wasn't going to fight anymore if it didn't work, but that was only because it was on my second eBay account that I rarely ever use. And I'm just trying to be very efficient on where I use my time. Is it going to be worth me calling eBay and spending all this time to get this removed on my second eBay account, or should I be using that time to be listing things so I can make money? So I was already planning that I wasn't going to fight it anymore, but fortunately it worked out and they ended up removing it. But this is a question that I do have for eBay. Can I go onto one of my competitors' store, buy something for super cheap for like $5, claim there was something wrong with it, and then go and leave them negative feedback, but really bad feedback that could really hurt their store? eBay's telling me that I can do that and get away with it. Think about it. I mean, this person, for all I know, this person can be a competitor that's trying to destroy my reputation. And it bothered me that eBay wouldn't remove that right away. So what did I learn from this experience? Well, I learned a few things. One, always go with your gut. I talk about this on my channel quite often. There are certain type of buyers that set off red flags for me. This was a red flag. It was a $5.99 or buy it now, and they sent me an offer for $5. Think about the normal buyer. Like for me, if there's something that I'm looking for and it's really cheap and it's buy it now, I'm just gonna buy it and I'm gonna pay for it and be done with it. I'm not gonna go and say, oh, let me send an offer for $5 and then wait to see if they respond. And if they do respond, then I gotta go back in again and pay again, and over $1. Think about the types of people that you see at grocery stores that hold up the line because something's not ringing up for $3. Instead, it's ringing up for like $3.25, and they're like trying to get that sale price. Like, you're literally holding up the line at the grocery store, you're making this cashier's job really hard over a quarter. And those types of people exist. Those are the types of people you don't really want to do business with because they're going to give you a headache down the line. So when there's just certain things that buyers do where they just send you like super low blow offers, or they'll send you an offer and then they'll write out like a huge description in the message for the offer, like why you should accept that offer, and like just, I don't know, just like they have like weird requests and stuff. Like those are the types of buyers that very often down the line they end up giving me trouble with something. So against my better judgment, really I should have just declined that offer and just went in and turned off the best offer option on that listing. That's what I should have done. Second, in the future, if somebody does open a case against me saying that an item wasn't described or that they weren't happy with it or whatnot, I will respond to that case in whichever way is appropriate, but then I will also send that buyer a private message, especially if it's something that's my fault. If someone opens a case against you and then you refund it, they may think that it's eBay who did the refund. They may not realize that you did it. And, you know, that may affect your, that may cause them to want to leave negative feedback. So I will just send a private message and let this buyer know I was the one that offered them that refund, that I'm so sorry that they weren't happy with their transaction. And, you know, I never want my buyers to be disappointed, so I'm really sorry about that. But if they ever want to buy something from my store again, let me know. I'll give them a discount, and that I still appreciate them, and to have a wonderful week. I think that's great customer service, even if you don't want to do it, and even if it's hard. I think it's going to be hard for somebody to leave you negative feedback after seeing a message like that. Second thing that I would do different is not use stock photos. I mean, if you're going to use stock photos, you should also have photos of the actual item as well, because the buyer could always come around and say that it wasn't as described, and they'll likely win because you used a stock photo. So I just want to take this experience and learn from it, and also to help you learn from it as well. And that's all I got for you today, my friends. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching. I hope everybody is having great sales, having an awesome holiday season. And never forget, when you thrift upon a star, your dreams come true. I'll see you next time. Bye.